Okay, well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, and thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for those on Instagram. Thank you for those on Facebook. Thank you for those on YouTube. Well, it's another Thursday evening. It's a new year. Back on the road. Hit track Jack. Great things are happening, and great things not happening. You know, the other day I was actually walking in the park, ladies and gentlemen. And while I was walking in the park, I I remember the music, which is called Nine Times Out of Ten, I'm Falling in Love with You. It's a song by Teddy Pendergrass, you know. Nine times out of ten, I'm falling in love with you. Beautiful song. Everybody knows that. Lovebirds and everything like that. People like Vita knows it. You know, Vita is on Instagram. And then the interesting thing about that song was that it said 9 times out of 10, I'm falling in love with you. Well, guess what? One could say 1 time out of 10, I'm not in love with you. And it shows about how you can actually spin things for your benefit, to say that you look on the positive side of things. And when it comes to positivity, you can't go far without bringing in Reverend Gary Graham, who is the Mr. Positivity. Yes, boss. Mr. Positivity.
Yeah, it's great to be back with you, Silborn. It's great to be back on this Silborn Studio show, the one that is
Indeed.
far. It's not yet realized, but it's bigger than BBC, CNN, Sky, and everything else.
Listen, it's bigger than everything, man. Vita says hi. She's on Instagram. I don't know why she's hiding on Instagram. So say the word to her so she can hear her. You know, you can say hi to her.
Hi, Vita. Hi, Vita. I think you need to come back out onto Facebook, man.
Well, yeah. You know, oh, she's working. She's working.
Okay.
She's trying to cover for Biden in America. Many people are covering for Biden right now.
Oh
you know,
dear.
I was listening to I saw a message by Jennifer Hudson. She's a talk show host now, the singer, and she said, "Oh,
Uh,
she said she's excited that her show is going over for the next season." And I said, I never. My thing just continue. I never have no season. I just continue forever, man. just, just continue forever. Oh, Vita said Biden cannot do no wrong. That's the problem. That's the problem in society. You see the wrong thing straight in front of your face, and you say that him can't do no wrong. Corruption, bandulu business all over the place. She said we
I mean,
respect our elders. Yeah,
I don't know why Biden. It's one of two things, Silborn. It's either Biden. All of these politicians have, I believe, they all have some papers probably that they shouldn't have, or they've got papers that that is long past their date. We just don't know until it comes out. Then we don't know what the how sensitive those papers are, because all
yeah,
politicians have papers that are
yes,
sensitive from it
yes,
to some extent or the other,
yeah. But before we jump on to the Biden, the UK, we got to start from y'all here now. I mean, we're still, ladies and gentlemen, for those in the UK, we're still having the crisis in regards to the nurses, the ambulance services. People are striking left, right, and center. That is still happening. People are trying to get a better deal from the government, and the government is saying, "We hear you, we understand, but we got an issue regarding making those fundamental payments, you know, and the cost of living is going up very high. Where they're talking about ambulance taking 90 minutes to get to 999 calls, 90 minutes to get to 999 calls. Sharp deterioration in response time for emergencies like heart attack and strokes in England, you know. Um, and they say what, like 50% of persons, 50% will of the persons who are on strike will move into to assist if they can't find enough cover. Do, do you think Rishi Sunak um finger is on the pulse of things, or he's able to deliver? We mentioned
Well,
about his five things last week. Yeah. Mm.
well, again, whoever was in uh, seat now, if Boris was there, or Liz Truss, or now Richie,
Yeah.
he he can't do any better than any other politician. It's the way how the cards, as they would say, have been dealt. Um, the the situation with the nurses, the situation with the
Mm.
NHS was always on the cards of coming, always on the cards. And again, because of the cost of living going up, and um, you know the interest rates being what it is, then the what's the term used? Um,
Cost of living, inflation.
yeah, the inflation is going to be there. Now, I can understand if the government is saying behind the scenes, or even without them saying it,
Yeah.
is saying that the more money you put out there is the more prices are going to go up. Then I'll understand, but they're not saying things like that. Obviously, you give people more money, they're going to spend more, aren't they?
Yeah.
So their plan, I think, their plan, which has always been, any government that goes in, whether it's Labour, whether it was Liberal Democrat, or now the Conservative, they
Mm.
do not want to fuel inflation. So what they're saying is that they want to keep the pay where it is, even though everything else is going up. And I can understand the pressure is there to keep
Mm.
up with the cost. The cost is going up, but the wages is not. And the government, I don't think that they're explaining that too well. I don't think so. However,
Yeah.
I think that they should say, if they haven't said it already, they should
Yeah.
say, let's look at giving an increase now, and in the next 6 months, whenever, again, that can be negotiated. Then
Yeah.
a further increase is given. But to pass a law now, or to talk about to outlaw strikes, I think it's wrong, isn't it?
Okay, so you're cutting up there. So what you're trying to say, to outlaw people striking, that's what you're saying is a wrong move. That's what you said, Gary. Yes.
Yes,
Yes. So
that's
we
what I
can
said.
we can
Yes.
so we can bring in Joseph Whale or Admiral Bade and say wrong move, wrong move. Don't make no wrong move. So that's a wrong move. That might make right there. You have to find out a good spin to it. The you know the counter thing to this all the while is when, like, interest rate goes up, because those who have mortgage, you can see the bit going up at time unless they've got a fixed thing. And they said they're trying to con- control inflation by not paying too much so people don't go out and spend. But every time you got inflation or interest rate goes up, it impacts on persons and their their bills, especially those paying mortgage. So in a way, you're still spending more. So you end up spending more to a certain extent. Maybe not to the same level, but you're still spending more because what you got to do, you got to pay your mortgage. There's more money is going to go through your mortgage. I, you know, I'm still sometimes looking at things, and the more they try to control things, I think the more things get worse. The market environment is a powerful thing. and nobody sometimes like everybody likes control. It's just like when it come on to the whole health sector as well, the whole COVID factor. Everybody wants to control. Somebody want to control the narrative, control where people going. Even some serious conspiracy theory going on where they're trying to somehow in the back way to sort of get people to take things that they don't want to control. Gary, I don't know if you can hear me still. You sound like it distorted there. Yeah, I think Gary, I lost you there for a second. Yeah. Um, so ladies and gentlemen, those on Instagram and those on yeah, Gary, yeah, I think your internet power is so powerful, Gary, that somehow I my thing cannot withstand. I cannot my system cannot withstand your power. Is that what it is? Yeah, Gary. Mm.
Probably my, my way to
You want to go out and come back? Go out and come back if anything, Gary. Go out and come back. So I'll let Gary go out and come back as well. But ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing today? How is the what's your news or what's the key thing which is out there for you, which is a fundamental factor for me? The breaking thing for me recently was just today was is Biden in trouble, and we're talking specifically about the classified. Keen, are you okay? Yeah. We're talking about the classified information which was found in his garage next to his Corvette. Yeah. Let me get back Gary here. Yes.
yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, Gary. Yes, I'm alive. Somebody asked if I'm live. I'm live. Yes. 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 Yes, Gary. You're saying what were we saying again before we got I sorry, I lost my train of thoughts a while ago. I was just generally speaking that what is the news or what is it that persons out there thinking about or talking about with what's going on in society. And my thing just today, because I had some other ideas, but when I saw the whole Biden bit, I felt it was something which was needed to touch on because the special counsel now is to look into Biden's handing of classified files, right? The U.S. Attorney General Garland has appointed a special counsel to probe President Biden's handling of classified documents because what happened is that he was found, or they found classified documents, top secret documents, in his garage when he was vice president, right? And that was with Obama
Okay.
period. Yeah.
Right.
And what many people are saying, what does this say? What does it say? Because at the same time, um, you had President Trump with classified documents, but they're saying that the level of the difference how they're actually moving this particular case is like the support or walking on eggshells around Biden, while at the same time they went all the way for Trump. The new majority leader or the head of the Congress there is really putting that point across. I don't know if you thought about it that much, and it's not something I'm going to spend time on really because there are other things we can talk about. But what's your take on it in a sense? It's another
Well,
discussion.
I think there's something political about this. I mean, all of a sudden, I mean, this thing has come out.
Mm,
You know, I think that all politicians, to some extent, some to a greater extent, some to a lesser extent, but I think that all politicians have some paper. It could be A5, and it could be one A5 piece, or some may have a A4 size, or a couple of pieces of paper that they shouldn't have. But at the same time, the shouldn't have can be a bit sticky because how old is this? How old is this confidential file? You know,
Is it the
it
is it also the double standard? It's not about how all it is. It's a double standard whereby one is actually having a go at one for the similar thing which they're guilty of. It is just like with the tax bit for Biden, for Trump. They're saying now it's a time for everyone now to show their tax returns as well.
Yeah, but it's all political
Mm.
though. It's they're trying to score political points against each other.
Yes,
So just as much as they found in Trump's house confidential pieces of paper and
yes,
file.
yes,
Now it's the Democratic turn. You know, and then some are then going to be talking about um, filing tax returns and all of that. So it's a to in and a fro in.
yes,
I think let's wait. They should wait and hear what Biden's explanation is or what the
yes.
findings are. But
Well, he gave an explanation today, and he was reading it. Because he got a script. They always got a script. I'm glad it's a good thing his paper didn't fall on the ground because he wouldn't have anything to say really. Um, but the last time I said that, somebody said I was having a go at an old man. I said I wasn't having a go at an old man. I said that anytime anyone in politics and the paper that they have with their notes, or anybody giving a speech, or their memory aid fall on the ground, they're going to have difficulties. Nothing to do
yeah,
with age. But what I said is that U.S. President Joe Biden's aides have now found a fresh batch of classified government records at a second location in growing political embarrassment for the White House. First catch was found at a private office in Washington, D.C., that Mr. Biden used after vice presidency.
right.
Now, the big thing now is this, and this is it: will he be impeached? And of course, the whole thing now with the Senate and the Congress. What do you see happening? Do you see something that road? What can you see with the eyes of the future, Gary? Who shall be the president?
Well, I don't think he's going to be impeached. I don't think that will happen. They certainly don't want Camilla.
Well, she's poised to be
Um,
the next president because the more we see Biden, the more we see that he's not really, the faculty is not there by purpose of age.
True.
Um,
Okay.
not anybody is trying to belittle him or so. And Vita said we respect our elders, we totally respect him, but at the same time, with a young and vibrant nation as America, it clearly needs some strong leadership to withstand the times and the likes of Mr. Putin.
I
Um,
mean, I don't think they want to get rid of Biden.
mm,
I personally don't think they want to get rid of Biden, and I don't think that they want Camilla there, even though
yeah,
she is the vice president. And something could happen tonight that she does step into the position. Who
yeah.
knows? I mean, again, the Lord has not given me insight into this as yet, so I can't talk on behalf
Mm.
of my Lord and Master because He's
Yeah,
given me nothing to talk about.
you haven't got the revelation, the,
So I
the
haven't got the revelation.
revelation from the high level revelation. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tune in to Gary's daily shows. Right, Gary?
Well,
It's daily, isn't it?
it is daily, and I mean, I was pleasantly surprised, shocked, and I was overjoyed. Really, I almost started speaking in tongues when I saw your name pop up and Michelle's name pop up. You know,
Yeah.
but I had to, as the Bible says, that the spirit is subject to the prophet. So I had to hold my seat.
Can't hold it back. Yeah. But just to let you know, Michelle, she had a slight accident because she was doing some out there walking, and
Yeah.
and
I kind of saw that after the show that she broke her foot, isn't it?
yeah, some accident. She was there, following Silburn City, and walk and talk motivational moments. you know,
That's it. Looks like that is more dangerous than what I'm doing, mate.
you know. but she's now she's a long chat with her and everything like that. But anyway, let's let America deal with their stuff because they are dealing with the new Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi has gone to take a break now. She's going to be in the sunshine. More than likely, she might be in Jamaica next week as well. Um, Harry, I mean, it's getting worse, Gary. Don't you think?
It's getting worse only because the media. It's the media, Silbon.
The
It's the
media,
media.
the media.
It's
What
the
the what
media.
what the media has to do about it? Who's feeding the media, Gary?
Well, they're reading the book, but
But
yes, but hold
yeah,
on.
yeah,
You can read a paragraph from a very from your tabloid sheets or from your broadsheets.
yes,
Yeah. But then you can just look at one sentence from a particular paragraph and just take that out
out of
and
context.
embellish that. Now, now by you speaking of that one sentence in a
Mm,
whole paragraph, you can always give your spin without anybody else reading it. That will sensationalize the article that you're reading.
yes.
So it may not have nothing to do what you've said of how you've addressed it because of that one sentence. You see. So I think the media has a lot to do with painting Harry in a very dubious light.
But Gary, the point about it is that well, he's the one who is feeding the media. Wouldn't you say that he's feeding the media?
He's okay. If you want to say he's feeding the media because he wrote a book, okay, I'll agree with you. He wrote a book,
And and
but
and
but
he
but
wants he wants that book to be read.
well, read the book, but don't. If you're going to ask a question, or if you're going to say something
Yeah.
from a particular passage or from a particular paragraph or what, um, uh, state the whole paragraph. Don't just take out a sentence per se out of the paragraph and then assume or make an
Yeah.
assumption.
So what you're saying then is read it properly, put it in context, do not take it out of context for the sake of sales.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But at the same time, that's what the media does, you know?
Well, they shouldn't
Because-
do it, and they've destroyed many lives because of that. They've made a havoc of people's lives, and that's why certain people, if you've got the money, you can take certain
Mm.
papers to the court, um, get them done for defamation of character.
Well, look
But
at yeah. Well, look at this. Look at this. This is what one. Can you see that? I don't know if you saw it.
oh, yeah, no, I mean how to kill your family.
Yeah, that is what one bookstore had out there. How to kill your family. You know what I mean? It's spare. You know. Um, but I do think though their PR person or whatever like that they're making massive killing. They're making a massive killing with this because the book is selling. They say it is a top bestseller, and everybody's fascinated by royalty without a doubt. People are fascinated by royalty, especially in America. That is why he's been doing the rounds in America because that's a market killer there. And you can see him doing the rounds. The only thing that not me personally, but when the king is going to be coronated, everyone is saying that they are scared of talking to him now because anything they say, they might find it in a book.
But everybody does that. Everybody does it. I mean, who doesn't do it? Silborn. You
You got a
see,
book? We're gonna okay. I'm gonna write a book about you. Okay.
yeah. Everybody writes a book about what
Uh,
somebody else said about them that's not
yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
And because of who Harry is,
Yes.
if Harry was some backwater guy from Backyard or whatever, or somewhere down in the middle of Brixton, and he came out with a book like that, they wouldn't spend the time on Harry. They
Mm,
wouldn't. There are many more authors out there that they could probably that they should waste time on, but
yeah.
not Harry. And they have the excuse to say, well, Harry is a public figure because he's part of the royal family. Okay, fine, but Harry is an ordinary guy, flesh and blood guy. He's got his life to live. He wants to live his own life.
What about the Taliban's bit? Did he have to say that? He said they took it out of context as well. When he's they said it, I mean, to be honest with you, and you're right, because it was the Spanish version which came out, and that is what everybody's been reading. And the book is apparently is out now. And everybody's been capturing and capturing bits of it. And the Taliban bit is a very interesting one where he said he killed 25 soldiers, but you never normally hear soldiers talking about that, Gary. Not that I'm around soldiers publicly. They don't really talk about these things publicly, do they?
No, they don't.
You
They
know.
don't.
And I think Ari made a miscalculation right there. And for him now to want in security around the clock, that has now been ramped up because the Taliban's and all these guys are saying, hey, even though really and truly America and Britain, France, and all those persons were the ones that play a part with the coalition that went into these countries, but one person actually singled out say, I killed 25 persons, 25 Talibans. They were like chess players. I never really took them that serious, you know. And
You
I
see,
think that's damning. Mm.
it is damning, but the Taliban can't talk. I mean, why are we not? Why is the public now? Why is the public?
Seems
Why?
sympathetic to the Taliban.
Huh?
Go on, just keep talking.
Why is the the news media,
Mm.
everybody now jumping on the side of the Taliban when look what they're doing in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You know, they the Taliban could say anything. They could say anything at all they want to say. They've
Mm.
killed people.
Mm.
They've thrown women out. So why aren't they jumping on about that now?
Yeah.
You know, we don't know. You and I, um, you know, if Harry and or William really put their lives at risk. All we're told is that they were somewhere in Afghanistan during that wartime.
Yeah.
They're out there doing what they were doing, and everybody was, you know, applauding them for putting their lives at risk. In so much
Mm.
that if when they were there, very little was said because they didn't want their
Yeah.
lives. So they could have been sitting in somebody's camp or in somebody's tent having a cup of tea watching Netflix.
Mm.
We don't know. But the point is that Harry said he went out there, he was flying helicopters, and he probably killed about 25. Now, okay, it's something that we don't want to talk about. It's something that
Mm.
we, that is not something to be happy about. But at
Yeah.
the same time, Silborn, he said he did it. Now,
Mm.
if other helicopter pilots or soldiers said that, they would be in the dock.
Mm.
They would be in the dock probably either being court-martialed or they'll be, you know, why? Because of some rules of war. There's always rules of warfare.
So
Harry
Harry.
came out and said what he said. Leave him alone, man.
So okay. 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 Well,
Oh,
you know.
you understand what I'm saying, Silver?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Um, you know, the thing though is, you know, it's a money making thing that he's on, and you got to hand it to him because he said, well, he's not getting any money from his family, so he's got to make money himself. And but a lot of people are just fed up of it. I mean, every morning you wake up hearing different stories and different things, and it sometimes get a bit ridiculous. But my philosophy is that drink water, mind my own business, and things like that, or drink some dragon stout and mind my own business, or make some Guinness punch or so. Um, you know, there's a lady. I think it was in the Voice was mentioned was bringing some sort of analogy and linking Meghan or Harry bit to black causes, and many people were saying, "Hang on a second, don't bring these guys into the black cause because they're not fighting for black cause." Megan doesn't identify as black. You know what I'm trying to say? She identifies black by purpose of the fact that she's been, um, you know, being chastised in many ways and jump on the black cause. But
Right,
these persons do not fight the causes for black people. You know, and without a doubt, we got to be careful that we're not hoodwink, because at the end of the day, it is them making money. That's for their business. It's their personal business. They're making money. And we all the ones getting carried away, even right now, talking about it, which is good. And yes, the minders are saying, yes, we got everybody. Even Silburn is talking about it. He's talking about it right now, Harry. Right now. And I know sometimes it's a critique of it was Silver, but Harry, he's talking about it. Mission accomplished. You get me, Gary? That's the whole thing. And so we've got to be careful that we don't get completely sidetracked by the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be careful. I mean, yes, I believe that he needs to be careful, but how careful can he be? He's just simply put a book out there. Anything that Harry would do, it will be ridiculed straight away. Anything that Harry did.
And why do you think that is?
The the,
Why?
the
What?
only one, Silver, the only one thing, if Harry didn't do what he did, he wouldn't be in the spotlight now. Is to marry a girl that was white. That's the
Mm,
only thing. But because he's married someone of color, then that put him in the limelight straight away.
yes, 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 yes. Well, you spread your bed, sleep in it. Listen, London Mayor Sadiq Khan says he cannot ignore the immense Brexit damage. Gary, has Brexit damaged the UK, or have we, or has there been an opportunity for Brexit to actually work?
Brexit, Brexit hasn't fully been realized only again because of the pandemic. Because
Mm,
Brexit happened and then the pandemic happened.
yes,
And then what happened after that? A lockdown.
lockdowns.
So so even though let's go to the extreme that they never had a plan for Brexit, right? But yet they've achieved it.
Yeah,
Um, because one of the main sticky points that they were dealing with at that time, and I think they made mention of it today, is
yeah,
the Northern Ireland Agreement,
yes,
right? Now, um, at that time, they were trying to sort that out. And I believe they were even saying today that they can't really have a government, a Northern Ireland government,
mm,
until they have, until there is some kind of agreement in place, some Brexit agreement in place. If my understanding is correct. So
yes,
Brexit really has not had a chance to breathe.
mm,
You
yeah.
know, that's in
Yeah,
hospital.
yeah. Because what he said is that in a Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, is set to attack what you'll describe as the government's denial of the immense damage he says Brexit is doing. In a
Right,
speech at Mansion House in the City of London, he called for a shift to greater alignment with Europe. The mayor is expected to say the consequence of leaving the EU can't be airbrushed out of history. But in
right.
contrast, Sir Starmer has ruled out rejoining the EU single market if Labour wins power. I think personally, Sadiq Khan is positioning himself to be the leader of the Labour Party eventually. He's
Yes,
hoping somehow, that Starmer fall on his sword or somewhere along the way. I believe he has been put forward again to be the mayor of London, which is unfortunate. But I know in a way he's trying to follow the route possibly of Boris Johnson um, as well. You're right. Brexit hasn't actually been realized, but because it has not been realized, it is becoming a main factor. It could be argued. It could be argued, you know. But at the same time, we are not in this perfect world or perfect scenario because the Putin war has somewhat increased the world prices of everything and everything gone skyrocket. However,
right,
they are saying that things are dropping and they're saying they're going to check with the some of it is not materializing or filtering through
right.
because prices are dropping, some of the things are dropping, and things are not filtering through. I'm expecting eventually that prices are going to go down. I'm expecting that um, gas and electric will come back down in some respect. I'm speaking hope, words of hope, in a sense. Um, Putin is somehow trying to find a way out. I can see that. That is why every time he goes, he pulls back, he comes back hard again. So nobody know what he's actually doing or what he's actually saying.
All
And
right.
I think in a way he's trying to find an exit out. And that's why I think they were annoyed when America, Russia, Germany also they're pushing to get some of these high level tanks into Ukraine. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know, Sil. It's I don't know. I don't know. We don't know what's going on. I mean, the thing about it is that politicians are crafty people
yes,
because in the open they are enemies. They hate each other's guts, so to speak.
yeah,
But you
mm,
just don't know what's going on in behind the scenes. You just don't know
yes,
if they are friends.
yes, yes,
You just
yes.
don't know what's going on, really.
Well, in did you go to Jamaica to get some gold? Have some gold on Jamaica. Maybe we need to do that. Go on to Jamaica and get some gold.
No, man, I don't want to get shot or killed yet.
Yeah. I asked a guy in Jamaica, I couldn't find you there. Where you been? He said, I don't go for gold. I born with a gold spoon in my mouth. But they found some gold in Jamaica, or people claim that they found gold in Jamaica, Gary. But somehow some are saying that the gold is not um ex- expensive, it's not valued or whatever they found. But it is I can't. No, I don't want to find the video because sometimes they strike if you borrow somebody's video. But I think the star had a video with this guy which found the goal and he was just getting excited and everything like that. But when I check a bit, I realize that there have been many instances of people finding gold in Jamaica. There have been many stories, Gary. Yeah, have you heard that?
Yeah, yeah.
Gold in, I'm trying to find gold rush lead stories in Jamaica, Gleaner. 4 days ago.
You see, I don't know. Yeah, the the attitude of our people is not good at all. I don't think it's good. It's not.
Why you say that?
Well, I mean, I if it's the same article I read about a particular person who was on their property, and when they found out that they made a mistake, they said there was gold on the property, and everybody come rushed down on the property to see if there
Yeah,
was gold on it, and it's not even theirs. It's not the majority of those who were there wasn't even their own property. And then isn't there a law in Jamaica to say that if there is like gold or something, it's not theirs, it's the government.
I'm not too sure but I'm looking at this thing here. If this can shed some light into it, and it's a Jamaica Star, which is talking about this. I can't even see it. I don't know where to. Gold, 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 gold. It says Hanover residents think they have found gold. Scores of residents of a section of the Chester Castle community think they have found gold following the discovery of colored rocks. You know, and someone who said Ralston Cole, who occupies the land in the area known as Topland, said that a house is being constructed on the property for his niece, and that the discovery was made shortly after they used heavy equipment to dig a pit. Them start to dig the pit together, and Tuesday, after about 10 feet down, them see an unusual soil coming out of the pit. Cole said that the unusual soil carried some good-looking, gold-looking thing. It's a mineral. Some people from all over come now and say it looks like gold. So them start to dig on the earth and find the things from what looking like gold. Many people were saying that the people were stupid for actually broadcasting this thing on social media. And then somebody said, maybe it is best that they do so, so nobody can say, I didn't find it. So everybody's is trying to claim that they are the first ones that get the goal. But I think some writer has come out or some sort of official voices that it is not really genuine gold, Gary. It is a form of gold. But sometimes you cannot trust even the authorities because when them telling people send a gold, then buy out the land. I'm bringing big excavation equipments in to find it. I think the real goal should be Jamaica aiming and pushing towards being a republic, which has been in the news of recent days. Gary.
Well, I mean, does Jamaica really want to go as a republic? Do they really want to go as a republic?
Personally, I don't think so. I don't think so, Gary. Honestly speaking, I don't think so. Um, if I don't know if I can find a video which I picked up yesterday and I posted it, and it sort of sheds some light into this whole thing. Let me see if I can. I'm going to my Facebook page here, and if you listen to it, because I've been saying from day one that the will of the government or the leadership in Jamaica are not really keen in becoming a republic. If they wanted to, they could have done a long time ago. Now, I'm going to play this video, Gary. Let me know if you can hear it just by giving me a thumbs up. If you can't hear it, give me a thumbs up because I'm going to go silent. Just listen for a moment.
About proposed amendments to the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms, expressed opposition Mark Golding has declined to name opposition members of parliament to sit on the Constitutional Reform Committee chaired by Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs Marlene Malahou Fort. Speaking in the House of Representatives this afternoon, Mrs. Malahou Fort said Mr. Golding has expressed reservations about proposed amendments to the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms. Expressing disappointment at the opposition's position, Mrs. Malahou Fort said while she understood the concerns, those could be ventilated during deliberations of the committee and consensus achieved.
We are ready to proceed. We have set out in details draft terms of reference for the committee to adopt. We have set out indicative timelines. We have a compilation of all the background documents, and we have done even a little bit more. But I regret today that the Prime Minister will be unable to name the committee because we do not wish to go ahead without the opposition naming its members.
In response, opposition leader Mark Golding said he got a request for 2 opposition members to sit on the...
Gary, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is happening right there is that Malahou Fort, she's the minister responsible for bringing in more than likely the Jamaica to become a republic and getting the whole process in place with a timeline and everything like that. Apparently, Mark Golding is saying that he wrote to her some time ago, 6 months ago, wanting to understand the terms or the reference of this thing because apparently 2 members of the opposition or so nominated should sit on this committee that is bringing this thing forward. So hear what Mr. Golding is going to say now.
committee. He wrote to the minister requesting clarification on some matters.
I didn't hear from her then. About a month later, I sent a follow-up letter requesting a reply. Since then, from time to time in conversation, I've had occasion to ask her please to write to me in response to my letter of June the 3rd. And several promises were made to do so. I received the response last Thursday. And that response set out some positions on the matters I'd raised and asked me to respond with the naming of our committee members before today.
In her sectoral debate presentation in the lower house last June, Mrs. Mullahu Fort said the Constitutional Reform Committee would include representatives from the government, parliamentary opposition, relevant experts, and members of the wider society, and would be appointed to ensure Jamaica's smooth transition to a republic.
Okay, so the question is, how serious are they?
I don't think the appetite is not there for some. I don't think. I think the appetite is there for a few.
Yes.
Probably like what's his name, the prime minister and a few of his members. But on a whole, I don't think that the Jamaican people have the appetite for that at all.
They want to keep Harry. Sorry, I mean the king.
Well, they want to keep the king. Yeah. Again, this is a wider debate that I think Silborn you could have with the with those that you're in touch with, and I think with the wider community that you have, because I don't think Jamaica should have had their independence in 1962 of August. We celebrate it.
Yes.
Yes, we do. But I don't know if that was the best thing for Jamaica to have done.
So you think Jamaica should have still be a colony?
In hindsight,
You
I
mean
think.
just like how you have Cayman and being a dependent like British Virgin Island and all those old places? Is that what you're saying, Gary?
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody seems to go to Cayman, even though it's set up differently to some extent. But people love Cayman because there's work there. It's nice there. It's clean. People are happy there. People go there because they can get work.
And it's a good offshore finance place as well.
Yeah. Now, um, at the time that Jamaica got independence, it looked good. It looked well. If we had people like Alexander Bustamante and Norman Manley around, then probably, and if we had men like them, I'm not saying for them to have lived this long. No, that's impossible. But if we probably had men like them
Of
who
such
carried
stalwart.
on after them. Now you had Michael Manley. To some extent, he probably was a good orator. He probably didn't want, he was a good people. He was very charismatic. He was. People listened to him. People rallied around him. And then you had, people again like Edward Siaga. I mean, it's always been said that if Edward Siaga and Michael Manley could have worked together, one become the prime minister and the other one is minister of finance, probably Jamaica would have been in a much better situation, because Siaga was thought of as a very good financier. Yeah. The whole world knew about him. He worked with the IMF.
Yeah. So what you're actually saying is that a government of a coalition would have been very effective at certain points in Jamaica.
I think so.
Moving away from the tribalism, because that's what is happening, the tribalism of the politics. Because there's something I wrote today, and I wrote it this morning, and I said it is worth noting that each time there's an election or leading up to an election, political parties always express in their manifesto or on the campaign trail the desire to remove the monarch as a head of state and to be a republic. Even Portia Simpson one time, when they asked her the question, she said Jamaica has only one queen. She was referring to her as a queen. There's only one queen. I am the queen. Justice we want, justice we get. Unfortunately, yet again, it's proven to be in words only. It appears that there seems not to be a consensus in moving forward. And in my writing, I said, have I said it over and again? There's not the will, but it is only in words only and gesture politicking. As some will say, I echo their sentiments. I said, however, we wait to see if things are changing with the new push. It would be great to see the committee set up soon and the members ASAP. Let's do this and don't just keep sitting in limbo, as Jimmy Cliff would say. it is very clear that there's a need, as much as possible, to come to some resolution. I've always said this before, even when it comes on to overseas voting, it has been dilly-dallied around. Everybody talk about it from the diaspora days, but no one actually has the gravitas and the will to effect it. And this is what is happening now. So the blame now is going to be pushed on the opposition, Mark Golding party now, to say they are the ones who are holding it up. But at the same time, I did say this many times. I did say this, that when Kamina Johnson Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs, had put her hat in the ring to run for the Commonwealth Secretariat, you would not have heard anything about Jamaica leaving the Republic, because that was not a timely thing. She didn't win. You still don't hear anything about it. My view is that if the Andrew Holness government go into election and they win, they're going to keep her there and put her back again to be the Commonwealth Secretariat because she got more gravitas. That's my perspective. So Jamaica is not serious about wanting to be a republic. And many people
Right.
don't want to, because they're actually saying as well that they don't trust the judicial system, the Caribbean Court of Appeal, because they rather to have the Privy Council. And then people say they don't want the Caribbean Court of Appeal because it's an old boys network. And Gary, we can all remind everybody that the British legal system is a old boys network. The Privy Council system in the UK is also a old boys network.
Well, it is. It is. And I think, and I don't know. I think Jamaica is stuck right where it is.
Mm.
If can you imagine Jamaica becoming a republic, or can you imagine Jamaica? There's three choices here that Jamaica needs to really be settled on.
Yeah.
One, remain as they are. Two,
Mm.
turn a republic. Or three, become the 53rd state of the United States.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, which out of those three, which is the better one?
Jamaica to become a republic and to move forward. It might have some little stumbling block along the way, but I believe that in any child that is growing up, they're going to stumble along the way and fall along the way, but they get stronger. Their legs get stronger. I was looking at some pictures of my children the other day when they were small, and I could hold them like this. And after a while, I got another picture, I can hold them like that. And I took one yesterday. I can't even hold them properly now. They're getting stronger, they're getting bigger. So Jamaica has got to make a decision and move forward. And somehow, when one become an independent state, it actually manifests or breed some level of pride in people. That's what they got, I believe, when they became an independent, so-called so-called independence in 1962. As far as I'm concerned, it was not an independence. It was a scam, because when the Brits left Jamaica, so-called left, they did not just leave. They didn't leave with everything. They left the lands. Many people don't like when I say this all the while. It's a silver. It is not realistic. Well, I'm saying it again. The Jamaican people need the lands which are there, which is owned by UDC and all these different places, should have been apportioned to the people so they can get their foot on the ladder. Gary,
It should have been, but it never happened.
never happened. So that's why it's a scam. That's a major scam. That was the first scam, and they're blaming the Montego Bay people for being scammers. That's the first scam. The independence was a scam. That's my view. Take it or leave it. you know. But and then there was something again in the papers, in Jamaica papers, that spoke about that they want visas. They want to get visas for persons going to the Privy Council. And I said, really and truly, you want visas for persons going to the Privy Council? I thought you'd be trying to become a republic. Use that energy there and go for the Caribbean Court of Appeal. Over and out. That's my view. Where's it, Gary?
You see, again, is the Caribbean is the Caribbean um, are they is it strong enough to carry that authority?
Well, the Caribbean, the CARICOM should be, as the letter which I wrote recently I wrote a letter recently and I found it the other day. It says, what is that? It said, bankruptcy of the wills fuel crimes. I found a letter which I wrote and I got the letter of it there and I got the Silver Pen Award in Jamaica that says, I have a will to develop Jamaica. Will. Bankruptcy of the wills fuel crime. Mean to say that there's no will factor that come pull it together. And then the second one that I saw the article I wrote. I saw it today when I was looking for the document. I have a will to develop Jamaica. It's a will. Once there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they need leaders with visions to see it. If anybody say if I can see it, I can see it. And that's what leaders do. Leaders try to encourage, motivate, inspire people to somehow see things which is there. You know. Anyway, we're gone again. Saturday night, talk and sip, ladies and gentlemen. Where I'm gonna aim to try to get Malahoo Fort. This is my dream. Aim to get Malahoo Fort, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I'm gonna aim to get Mr. Chief Richard Curry, because the Maroons just celebrated something recently. I shouldn't say something, but they celebrated something recently. And I'm gonna try to get also the Coffee Man, because there's been some breakthrough regarding coffee with former Senator Norman. You know. So I'm gonna try to do that Saturday night. Back again in Talk and Sip. Yeah. Over and out. Any last word, Gary?
No, just hold the fort, guys. Just be positive in your thinking and just pray for our little Jamaica, really.
Yes.
That things will, there's been a lot of heartache for a lot of people out there, really, with the loss of family, friends. Even I think was there something I saw, if I didn't misread it, about the abduction of a little baby?
I'm not sure, but there's something I was reading or I was listening to, whereby some house or some youth center, some American person who contribute to it, somehow something dodgy happened. I don't want to say what I don't know. I don't like to say that. But yeah, some dodgy thing happened, and there was a report about it. I've heard it, yeah.
Yeah, it's sad.
They found the baby. Somebody said they found the baby.
Okay.
Actually, I didn't know about that story. What was it? What was it, Gary? What
I can't even remember, I can't remember. But it was just a headline. I didn't even get to read into it. But
Jacqueline Affleck here is saying that they found the baby, which is good there. Thanks, Jacqueline, for that as well. I think you're back from where you were somewhere traveling the whole world, and things like that. But yeah, so that's it really. And the young man who died recently, Mr. Sean Patterson from the UK. I haven't heard much more about that, but I think for Jamaica they're calling it a slam dunk case, because apparently the guy that was in a video with him is the one that they claim apparently shot and killed him.
Really?
So it was his mate. And there's so many stories which is going around to say that apparently the guy did time for him, and they want to get him into Jamaica and po. The point about it, and I keep saying this all the while, is that people say it was a contract killing ordered from the UK to take him out in Jamaica. So my thinking is this: of all the years he has lived in the UK, that is Mr. Patterson, may he rest in peace, all the years that he has lived in the UK, and they found it much better or easier to take him out in Jamaica. That is a clear indictment that is saying it is easier to get someone finished in Jamaica. Why? That's what people are not saying, or the authorities are saying. Mr. Patterson was this, Mr. Patterson was that, and he's got a track record. It could be, but why is it easier for him to die in Jamaica?
Yeah, why? Why?
Why?
You
Why
know.
the contract killing had to be while he was in Jamaica? These are things, Gary. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's 10 o'clock. Have a good night. For those on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Gary, we'll talk. We'll have to definitely get God and government going. Yeah.
Well, again, you can put it out there that I'm on a daily basis. I mean,
Yes.
we I mean, just to give a little, just 1 second of a thing, we're doing a little stint on Revelation 14 and moving on from there. So
Mm.
I don't know if Silborn can help us get it out there. I don't know if he's done anything for him. How did it sound like to you today?
That sound fantastic. What is it that you want me to do?
Give them a little flavor of what you heard today. I mean, do you think it was helpful? Do you think it was encouraging? Do you think it was,
Yeah. Well, I've got your details there, ladies and gentlemen. You can tune into Gary K. Graham, Twitter, Preacher258, Facebook and YouTube. Gary Graham, K. Graham. There you are. Is the man in the real McCoy. You know what? We need some serious words of power, words of encouragement, and especially for men as well at this time in this. I was speaking to a young man today who contacted me to say he's got a young guy that he wanted to get some accountant to give him some sort of mentorship, and we end up finishing the conversation that men need to be unapologetically men.
true?
They need to be and these are some young guys, because I tell you what, a lot of young guys out there, and they are just peed off because they find that for them to say they are a man sometime and to even stand up to be a man, they are
No,
they're
I've been thinking about that too myself. We
mm,
need more men out there to be this guy that has been um
Andrew
arrested
Tate.
in Romania. Yes.
Andrew Tate, yes, yes,
Now,
yes,
now he's an interesting character.
yes.
I am not in agreement with most of what he has said in in misogyny and
Misogynist, yes, yes.
yeah
Mm.
and talking down women and such. I'm not
Woman,
into
yeah.
that. Not into that.
Sorry. Once again, I don't know what's that. Go ahead now. Yeah, something is turned on a while. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. But the moment anybody begins to speak up for men, if you notice, the moment anybody begins to speak up for men, about men, and wants to put men in a more favorable light, they are
Mm.
cut down straight away.
Mm.
They are cut down straight away. Now, what are our sons? The point is, and I want your listeners, I don't know how many we've got online now, but what are our, if our listeners have sons or nephews, if
Mm.
you got a husband, if you got a father, yeah,
Yeah.
what are they feeling? How are they feeling when so many are talking about them and talking down about them?
Mm.
Who is there to really encourage them, to lift them up? Because you know we have our sons.
Yes.
Our sons have strong mothers, but I tell you
Mm.
what, if that strong mother saw their son marry a woman or got into a relationship with a woman, and that woman then begins to mistreat him, what is that mother going to say to him? When all he is seen in his own home is the mother dominating the husband or the father.
Yeah.
You see, we've got to have a proper balance to things. There's got
Mm.
to be a proper balance to how this thing is
Yeah.
addressed.
Well, Gary, without a doubt, we're gonna have discussions on that. Definitely, because I did post something the other day, and a couple persons or one particular guy just completely didn't see what I was saying, because LBC had a post up that says teachers have slammed social media firms for allowing misogynist social media personality Mr. Tate to become hugely well known among teenage school boys. And when I saw it, I just said, surprise, surprise, I saw this coming. What do you expect? Boys want to be boys, and you woke people, confuse them. They'll go to the very masculine individuals who are to a certain extreme or too far left or too far right, as the school has failed to teach boys to be men, but instead we are teaching boys to be weak with lack of confidence. And that is why you'll have more Andrew Tate. Someone grabbed hold of that point there and said, I'm supporting Andrew Tate. I said, no, you missed the point. Whenever there's a void or whenever there's a gap, somebody's going to fill it, right? And that's the whole issue there. Somebody's going to feel it because men, if we're not careful and our society is grooming them, they become weak. And as we say in Jamaica, fenke, fenke,
Yes. Yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
yeah, yeah.
and it's a clear indictment upon society. So therefore, men who are unapologetically men need to stand up and be counted. And you're
Needs
right. Yeah.
needs to be, yes, needs to
Yes.
be.
Yes.
You see, it needs to be. I I'm not in agreement with men stepping all over women and talking down to them and about them and treating them like like right. I'm not in agreement with that. But I'm
Mm,
neither in agreement with our women talking down about our men because it's gotten to the point that you, stillborn, or I myself, we could
mm,
walk out of our front doors, walk down the road, a woman passed by or across the road, and they could call out and says that man
yes.
whistled at me, or that
Yes.
man looked at me in a very derogatory way, and
Mm,
your life, stillborn, is destroyed.
yes.
Just look what happened to that guy in Central Park. Now, was it last year or the year before? When she was walking her dog, and then she just turned around and said that he's racist, or he said something to her which he never said. He
Yes.
never did anything, but yet that guy was
Hung, drawn, and quartered.
yeah, based on
Figuratively.
one woman,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
based on one woman. Now, if it was him who said it
Mm,
about her, he still would have been lambasted. He
mm,
wouldn't have lasted the time. So there is an imbalance in society. There
yes.
is an imbalance.
Yeah. And one and as we said a while ago, men are men, and men have flawed characters and good characters, but they are men. Likewise, women are women who have flawed characters as well. Um, but sometimes I see the word like the misogynist. Anytime like a man stand up or something like that, they use the word misogynist at them very easily. By me just putting Andrew Tate in a discussion one time, people thought I was quoting him, which was my quote,
Right,
and
right,
and people thought I was quoting Andrew Tate, and being called misogynist. And what does it mean when a person is misogynist? I just pull it up here. A person who hates or discriminates against women. These content attempt to cut much deeper, you
right,
know,
right.
to cut much striking women at what misogynists see as their most valuable characteristics. What are examples? Can look at many things. It can be blatant, like violence against women, or it can be less obvious, like subtle perpetuating inequality between men and women. Some with misogynist belief, for example, might take men out of their word while dismissing or trivializing a woman with the same opinion. So, therefore, we are not supportive of men operating like that. But at the same time, one is not going to stop being a man out of fear of being called misogynist, you know. But
Mhm.
anyway, Gary, this is something we'll have to touch on as a separate and a topic in regards to men as well, and we have to do that.
Yeah,
All right.
well, somebody has to speak up. I think
Mm,
somebody. I think
mm,
you know those who are speaking, those who are saying anything. the media again is picking up on the wrong people.
Yes.
I'm sure there are many other people out there
Saying the right things.
saying the right thing, not only us.
Yes.
And they may be even better to speak on behalf and speak about the subject. And
Yes.
they're more fluent
Mm.
in their arguments. But somebody needs to stand and to say something, because
Yeah.
obviously there is a section out there that wants to destroy men. They're
Yes.
out to destroy men.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Gary and I not going to make that happen. Simple as that. It's good evening. Just feel like a Saturday night a while ago. That music a while ago. Feel like a talk and sip moment. Then drink some water. Drink water and mind my own business. But seriously, Gary, I've got some serious. We're going to have some serious topics, some serious guests on this here. Really, not moving away from the fluff and all those rubbish, and just dig into some deep issues. We have to.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to wish you a good night. Thank you so much for joining, and those on Instagram and Facebook. Gary, have a good rest of the week. We
God
talk after still, and remember to like and share, and don't dislike. If you don't like, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna get you. Peace out. God bless. And remember, Saturday night, as usual, Saturday night, we are talking sip. Looking forward to see you. Remember to join and follow the walk and talk motivational moments in the park. That's going to be great to empower yourself, motivate, exercise, and feel good. All right. Peace out. God bless.